ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Samam Bonam, Chapter 63, Lord Krishna fights with Banasur, verse number 26, 10.63.26. कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभाव द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार तत्संगात बीजरोह प्रवाह त्वन्माया एषा तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभावो द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार तत्संघात बीजरोह प्रवाह त्वन्माया एषा तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभावो द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार तत्संघात बीजरोह प्रवाह त्वन्माया एषा तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभावो द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार त्वन्माया एषा तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभावो द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार तत्संगातो बीजरोह प्रवाह त्वन्माया एषा तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभावो द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार प्रभाव तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। माताजी। कालो दैवं कर्म जीव स्वभावो द्रव्यं क्षेत्रं प्राण आत्मा विकार तत्संघातो बीजरोह प्रवाह त्वन्माया एषा तन्निषेधं प्रपद्ये। काल time, Daivam destiny, Karma, the reactions of material work. Jiva, the individual living entity. Swabhava, his propensities. Dravyam, the subtle forms of matter. Kshetram, the body. Prana, the life air. Atma, the false ego. Vikara, the transformations of the 11 senses. Tat, of all these. Sanghata, the aggregate as the subtle body. Bija, of seed. Roha, and sprout. Pravaha, the constant flow. Tvat, your. Maya, material illusory energy. Esha, this. Tat, of it. Nishedham, the negation. You. Prapadye, I am approaching for shelter. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Time, fate, karma, the jiva and his propensities, the subtle material elements, the material body, the life air, false ego, the various senses, and the totality of this as reflected in the living being's subtle body. All this constitutes your material illusory energy, Maya, an endless cycle like that of seed and plant. I take shelter of you, the negation of this Maya. Purport. The word Bija Roha Pravaha is explained as follows. The conditioned soul accepts a material body with which he attempts to enjoy the material world. That body is the seed, bija, of future material existence. Because when a person acts with that body, he creates further reactions, karma, which grow, roha, into the obligation to accept another material body. In other words, material life is a chain of actions and reactions. The simple decision to surrender to the Supreme Lord releases the conditioned soul from this futile repetition of material growth and reaction. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the words Tan Nishedham Prapadye indicate that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is Nishedhavadhi Bhutam, the limit of negation. In other words, after all illusion is negated, the absolute truth remains. The process of education may be succinctly described as a way of eradicating ignorance through the attainment of knowledge. Through inductive, deductive, and intuitive means, we attempt to refute the spacious, the illusory, and the imperfect, and elevate ourselves to a platform of full knowledge. Ultimately, when all illusion is negated, that which remains firmly in place is the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the previous text, the Shiva Jvara described the Supreme Lord as Sarvatmanam Kevalam Gyanpati Matram, pure concentrated spiritual consciousness. Now the Shiva Jvara concludes his philosophical description of the Lord by saying in this text that the various aspects of material existence are also potencies of the Supreme Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti mentions that the Supreme Lord's own body and senses, as implied here by the word tan nishedham, are non-different from the Lord's pure spiritual existence. The Lord's body and senses are not external to Him, nor do they cover Him, but rather the Lord is identical with His spiritual form and senses. The full absolute truth, unlimited in fascinating diversity, is Lord Shri Krishna. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 63, verse number 26, translation. Time, fate, karma, the Jiva and his propensities, the subtle material elements, the material body, the life air, false ego, the various senses, and the totality of this as reflected in the living being's subtle body. All this constitutes your material illusory energy, Maya, an endless cycle like that of seed and plant. I take shelter of you, the negation of this Maya. Hare Krishna. So these are the prayers by Shiv Jvara, the ultimate weapon of Lord Shiva. When the ultimate weapon of Lord Shiva, Shiv Jvara, is defeated by Narayan Jvara, then to protect itself, Shiv Jvara approaches Lord Krishna. Shiv Jvara doesn't approaches his master, Shiva. He approaches boss of the boss. He approaches Lord Krishna. Because he is clear that in this case, Lord Shiva will not be able to do anything to protect me. We may have our individual masters, but we should know they all are fallible. They all have limitations. There's only one Supreme Master, that's Lord Krishna. Anybody else who thinks I am the master is in illusion. Anybody else who thinks I am the owner of some other living entity, he is in illusion. Anybody who thinks that I should have control over some other living entity is in illusion. That is wrong. Only Krishna is the owner of the living entities. One living entity cannot be owner of another living entity. Only Krishna is the owner. When Mother Uttara felt the danger from Brahmastra shot by Ashwatthama or her child in the womb, she approached Krishna. Even though there is Arjun, Gandhivdhari Arjun, there is Bhim, Gadadhari Bhim, and there is Yudhishthira Maharaj, the emperor. They were standing right at the same location. But she approached Krishna, knowing well that these are fallibles. They can't help me in this situation. Somebody may be able to help us in a particular situation, but in other situations they may not be able to help us. So they can't be supreme authorities or supreme protectors or supreme maintainers. Only Krishna can help us in all situations, especially death. So he is the supreme master. So Shiv Jvara is very much familiar with the power and the potency of Lord Shiva, who is one of the avatar, Guna avatar, incarnation of Tamogun, Mahadev, for the destruction of the whole world. And when he prays to Lord Krishna, he prays, my dear Lord, you are absolute truth, pure spiritual consciousness. There is not a tinge of Maya in you. And in the next prayer, which is today's verse, he is further elaborating the same point. To understand Krishna, we have to understand 2 points. One is who is Krishna, and second, who is not Krishna. To understand the table, we have to understand what is table and we understand what is not table. To understand the location of the table, we have to understand where is the table, and we have to also understand where table is not. That means where does the boundary end? It doesn't extend till that wall. So both sides we have to understand to have proper understanding. So in previous prayer, Shiv Jvara explains who is Krishna, the absolute truth, pure spiritual consciousness. In today's verse, he explains negative, who is not Krishna. So he explains that Maya, or in this case material nature, Prakriti, consists of 24 elements. You all familiar with 24 elements? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and the 5 tanmatras, form and sound and fragrance and taste and touch and hands, legs, mouth, genitals and evacuating organs and Mahat Tattva, 24 elements. Then above that is soul, 25th element. And above that is time, 26th element. And Shiv Jvara says, you are not any one of this or combination of this. Krishna is not matter. Krishna is not Jiva, soul. And Krishna is not time. Time in the meaning, conditional meaning of cause of changes. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am time. That is energy. Time is energy of Krishna. Krishna destroys this world in the form of time. But Krishna is not just time, he is more than the time. So that's conditional equality. That for the purpose of destruction, he takes the form of time. But he is not just time, he is more than that. So he is not Kal, he is not Karma, he is not Jiva, he is not destiny, he is not Sabhava, he is not the subtle elements, he is not the transformation of these elements, he is not a combination of these elements, he is shelter of all this, he is shelter of Maya, he is ultimate truth, which is the final limit of that which is not Maya, of that which is negation of Maya. Just like we understand light, and then we understand darkness. And how do you explain darkness to a person who knows what is light? Absence of light is darkness. But suppose somebody is born in darkness and one day he has experience of light, then you will have to explain the light with the understanding of darkness, that what is light? It's absence of darkness. A better definition would be that you have a direct experience of light and you understand darkness relative to the experience of light, that darkness is absence of light. But those who are born in a cave, say, suppose a couple goes to the cave and got stuck. Some rock falls down, the entrance of the cave is blocked and sunlight cannot come inside, and the couple is inside the cave, somehow survived and gave birth to a child, and after 10 years the rock is broken and they come out. Now the child has experience of light, which is a normal experience, but for the child, darkness is a normal experience. So you have to explain the light saying absence of darkness. So in the same way, absolute truth should be a normal experience, but for a conditioned soul who is going on changing bodies in this material world since millions of lifetimes, Maya is a normal experience. We are familiar with material nature. We are familiar with illusion. We are not familiar with truth. So philosophers explain absolute truth as negation of Maya, absence of Maya. Because we are familiar with darkness, we are familiar with Maya. So that which is not truth, that is Maya. That which is not Maya, that is truth. That which is not illusion, that is truth. Truth doesn't require to be defined. Truth doesn't require to be explained. Light doesn't require to be explained. Light is a direct experience. But it's only for those who don't have that experience. Those who have experience of darkness. So we are unfortunate that we have experience of Maya and not of absolute truth. So mercifully, Srimad Bhagavatam and Shiv Jvara is helping us to understand the negation of Maya is absolute truth. The negation of all illusions is absolute truth. This material world is real, but our perception of this material world is illusory. There is a real world Krishna has created. But when I come in contact, I don't come in contact with real world. I come in contact with the illusory world. My perception of this world. So there's a rope in the room. And I think the rope is a snake. And because of that I have fear. This is illusion. What is illusion? The fear? No, the fear is real. The snake? No, the snake is also real somewhere. The rope? No, rope is real in the room. So what is illusion in this example? Not the rope, not the snake, and not the fear. The illusion is the thought inside me that rope is equal to snake. The thought inside me that this object is snake. It is my perception of rope as snake. Rope is real, my perception is illusory. In the same way, Krishna created a real world. And each one of us have a different perception of this real world. And that perception is illusory. And there are levels of illusion. For example, on the road, there is a rose flower. No, rose flower like this. We call rose flower in our perception. And a goat comes. The goat sees this red object. What will goat perceive? Breakfast. Nice, fresh, sweet breakfast. And a gardener comes. What did gardener perceive? 10 rupees. He can pluck this, go to market, sell for 10 rupees. And a young girl comes. What does she perceive? Shingar. She can pluck the flower, put it in her hairs, she will be more attractive. And a boy comes. What does he perceive? Wow, if I pluck this and give to my girlfriend, she will be happy. And a pujari comes. What does he perceive? Oh, if I give to Radha Rasbir, it will be so nice. So there is this red object on the road, 5 living entities perceived in 5 different ways. Breakfast, commodity to sell, decorative piece, gift for girlfriend, offering for Krishna. And like this, if there are 5 more, there will be 10. And there are 50 more, there will be 50 perceptions, 500 perceptions, 10,000 perceptions of one object. Which one is true? All are true? All are true. No, all are wrong. Only one is true, and Krishna knows that one because he created it. Everybody else is perceiving that object as per self-desire. Based on my desire, I perceive that object. Based on my desire, I perceive everything around me. So we don't see the real world. We see the perverted reflection of the real world on the plane of our desire. If you go to a big mall, if you are a boy, you perceive the mall highlighted with items for the boys. There are shoes, there is jeans, there is t-shirt, there is football. If you are a girl, you perceive the mall highlighted with items for girls, rest you ignore. If you are a child, you will ignore all other shops and only get attracted to toys and chocolates. In the same way, in this world, there is nothing good and bad. Based on my desires, I perceive objects in the world something which is favorable to me, something which is not favorable to me. If there is a grass field and few goats are there, when a goat goes to the grass field, it sees food. When the lion goes to the grass field, it sees food. Yes or no? Yes, it sees the goat eating the grass. But if there is no goat, lion will be not interested in that grass field. Or the lion will wait because the grass field for the lion is a trap for food. Food will come. So grass is food for goat and something else for the lion. Difference. So the whole world, there's only one world, but there are millions and millions of perceptions of this world based on the conditioned soul, based on the conditioning, based on the plane of desires. And that is called illusion. And unless we come out of that illusion, we will not experience Krishna, the absolute truth. As mentioned here, he is the negation of this illusion. He is the final negation of this illusion. So coming to practicing Krishna consciousness means coming out of this illusion. I am a boy, I am Indian, I am girl, I am father, I am mother, I am manager, I am engineer. These are all illusions, upadhis, designations. The only reality is I am servant of Krishna. That's the only reality. So by practicing chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we come out of this illusion. We distinguish between illusion and reality. That is mentioned as the purpose of Bhagavatam in the beginning verses. That's a very noble cause, to help somebody distinguish between illusion and reality, to come out of self-illusion. So when we try to come out of self-illusion in an organization, there is a chance of falling into group illusion. Self-illusion means what perceptions I have, I come out towards truth. Group illusion means many people together have wrong perceptions and I conform to it, because otherwise I'll be odd man out, and nobody wants to be odd man out. So if I understand this pillar as white, and there are 100 devotee friends of mine who are saying this is blue, I will have to confirm this act with thing. I say, yeah, I think it is blue. Kaun bolega iske khilaf? Who will speak against them? Or who will unnecessarily argue? Or maybe I am wrong, this may be blue. It's like group illusion. Group illusion is so dangerous that what alone you may not do, as a group you will be not hesitant to do. If you are at a local railway station, crowded railway station, and you see a man looking very dangerous, stealing money from somebody's pocket, will you go and beat him up? No. But you see every single person is beating him up. You may say, मैं भी मारता हूँ. The fear will go away. What you would not do individually, a violent activity, in a group you may do it. The fear, the hesitation goes, because group illusion is so powerful that if everybody is doing it may be correct. And if I don't do it, I am wrong. Collective illusion. group illusion. Sometimes the individual hesitates to take a decision which he thinks is unethical. But if he sits in a group, maybe a managerial group or a volunteer group, and all are talking about taking the same decision, he may think it's not wrong. He will agree to that decision, which in his private room he may disagree. That's called group illusion. So coming to practicing Krishna consciousness in a group of devotees can be a pitfall if we are not careful, if you are not independently thoughtful, and that comes by reading scriptures. That comes by hearing scriptures. This is not applicable to all groups or all forums, but history shows the possibility. So at every stage of our spiritual growth, there are new illusions creeping in when previous illusions are exiting, going out. And we have to be careful not to fall trap. So negating illusion is one of the duty of a transcendentalist. To know what is truth and to know what is not truth. To know what is correct philosophy and to also know what is not correct philosophy. To know who is Krishna and to also know who is not Krishna. Very essential. Bheda and Abheda. To know what is equal to Krishna, Abheda, and to also know what is not equal to Krishna, Bheda. Both have to be known. To differentiate between Krishna and Jvara. To differentiate between Krishna and Prakriti. And to differentiate between Jiva and Prakriti. There are three items: Krishna, Jiva, Prakriti. Ishwar, Jiva, Prakriti. And all three are different. Equating two of them is illusion. Those who say Ishvara is equal to Jiva, they are Mayavadis. Jiva is Krishna. I am God. That's Mayavadi. Those who say Ishvara is equal to matter, they are atheist. Matter is God. There is no God. There is no other God. Nature is God. There is nobody else. Ishvara is equal to matter. Prakriti. That is atheism. Those who say Jiva is equal to matter, they are most intelligent class of, they are most foolish class of people called scientists. Jiva is equal to matter, life comes from chemicals. Life comes from matter. So Ishwar, Jiv, matter. These are three distinct tattvas, not equal. None of two are equal. And if we equate, that's illusion. And we need to come out of this illusion and understand the final truth, the negation of all illusions. As Shiv Jvara says, you, my dear Lord Krishna, you are the final truth. And when we hear this knowledge, like King Rahugan, he heard from Jad Bharat. Rahugan was thinking, I am the king, and he was upset with Jad Bharat, who was carrying his palanquin in an improper way, and he chastised him and criticized him and insulted him. And when Rahugan spoke few words of transcendental knowledge, immediately he realized, he jumped from his palanquin and paid full Dandvat Pranam, that you know truth. And please instruct me so that I also come out of illusion. And Rahugan came out of illusion by hearing from Jad Bharat. So he no longer thinks I am the king now. He no longer thinks I am the master now. All these upadhis are illusions. Arjuna was in illusion. And he heard Bhagavad Gita. And he came out of illusion. And he was ready to perform his duty for the service of Krishna. So scriptures, hearing of scriptures, reading scriptures is most essential so that we come in contact with reality every day. That's why books are the basis. Reading Prabhupada books and distributing Prabhupada books. In this month of marathon, we all are distributing Prabhupada books. And we continue to do that. This is the best welfare activity to help others get a tool in their hand which they can open any page and distinguish reality from illusion, truth from falsity, right from wrong, and spirit from matter. If people do not have this tool and an opportunity, then this whole world is doomed. There is no value. This whole world and all the other literatures and films and websites are increasing the illusion. It's only Iskcon who is making a fight against illusion. And it is a fight. It is going to be painful. It is going to be struggle. It is going to give wounds. It is going to give blood losses. It's going to be challenging. But better we die on the battlefield rather than lazily sit in our comfortable rooms. So books are the basis for our self to come out of illusion and to help the society come out of illusion. We read scriptures and we distribute scriptures. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If there are any comments or questions, you may please ask. Yes, Radha Rasbihari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we hear in Bhagavad Gita, Mata Paratarannanyat Kinchit, like Krishna is everything, but you are trying to distinguish from everything and Krishna. So can you explain this? Illusion.
So our philosophy is Bheda and Abheda, simultaneous Bheda and Abheda. So I mentioned one part, you mentioned the other part, both are true. Krishna is everything, as Krishna's energy. At the same time, he has individuality. So is this table Krishna?
Yes.
So offer him peacock feather and flute? Will you? No. If he is Krishna, offer him peacock feather and flute. So our is Bheda and Abheda. And in our Abhidaya, in our practice, we follow these do's and don'ts based on Bheda and Abheda. When we are elevated further in consciousness, then Vasudevam Sarvamiti. You don't have to discriminate. This table is Krishna. But are we on that level? Like Karela Mahaprasad, Rasgulla Mahaprasad. Is there any difference?
No.
For Bhagavatam class? No. But after in Prasadam hall, there is a difference. Right? Why? Because of our consciousness. Okay? So both is true. We discriminate so that we come to the platform of non-discrimination. So when we are advanced, we don't discriminate. But by not discriminating, you don't become advanced. Converse is not true. You with me? So the day I am advanced, I will see Rasgulla and Karela equal. But today when I don't see and I artificially make them equal, I will not become advanced. I will become only sad, distressed. Okay? So to reach the platform of non-discrimination, everything is Krishna, we have to go through the platform of discrimination. Everything is not Krishna. To reach Abheda, we have to go through Bheda. Is that okay, Prabhu? Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Right.
Prabhuji, you discussed about group illusion and self-illusion. So, Prabhuji, let's suppose some situations occur. So, we generally make up our opinion by hearing other devotees' opinion or some people's opinion. So, that is our opinion, like what we hear. So, is that illusion, group illusion, something like that? Then, how to develop like correct understanding about something, some incident or anything, whatever we observe or something like that?
We take education from devotees around us, our own experience and memory in life, our samskaras from the parents, our reading, our introspection, and form an opinion. If we blindly take only others' opinion, that is not the way forward for life. Then why Krishna has given intelligence? And why Krishna has made intelligence sharp enough to introspect? And in some cases, this may work. Others' opinion suffice. But that's not the purpose of intelligence. It has to be used. It's not that others will think for me. Why should I think? Let them think. And whatever they think and decide, I will follow. Easy life. It is called intellectual laziness. Let others think for me. Whether I have to go to bathroom or not, after he tells I will go, otherwise I will not go. Simple. No. So we have given intelligence, guided by the scriptures. We also think, and we can have a different opinion from others at our stage of spiritual progress, and that is fine. Nothing wrong about it. Is that okay? Yes, Janu Divnitai Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, I was just cross-checking with you. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says that organization becomes difficult for progressing in bhakti individually. So, is it the same concept where I can apply there? That in organization, as an independent, thoughtful devotee, he is practicing Krishna consciousness based on the scriptural knowledge, based on the guidance he got up to now from various Siksha Gurus. But in organization, there are some sort goals and missions to be achieved. So for at that time, his practice of Krishna consciousness has to face some challenges with the organization goals. So can I understand in that way, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says, it is difficult for individuals bhakti?
Well, without organization like Iskcon, it will be difficult even to do bhakti, forget progress bhakti. How many of us individually sitting at homes would be able to do Mangalarti, Guru Puja, class, sweet rice, prasadam? Well, conceptually, yes, a material organization will have challenges for a sadhaka. But that doesn't mean there are no advantages. So it cannot be taken only in one extreme. One has to be beware of challenges. But today, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan movement means association of devotees. Alone one cannot practice bhakti. So Prabhupada gives example of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur alone sitting chanting whole day. We are not Haridas Thakur. We need association of devotees and we need international society for Krishna consciousness. And there may be some unpleasant experiences, minutely part of our life, but that is our karma. That will happen even if you are sitting in a cave, right? So, yes, conceptually, it's possible for a bureaucracy to hamper somebody's progress, but Krishna is there to take care of us. So there may be imperfections in an organization, but still it's very advantageous. Okay?
Having this understanding only, our acharyas established an organization.
It is very unique in the history that Srila Prabhupada and of course Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur established incorporated an organization. Before that, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, anyone others didn't incorporate an organization like this. So very unique in history, and it has worked successfully. So many millions of people are becoming devotees and chanting the holy name, and millions of books are distributed, and millions of plates of prasadam is distributed, and millions of people are taking darshan of Krishna and attending Rath Yatras and festivals. It is unprecedented. This statistics was not visible in the bygone days. So it has been successful. Iskcon has been very successful in doing that. And yes, there are imperfections, and we all have to come together to correct them. But otherwise, how would millions of people who are coming and taking darshan and taking books and honoring prasadam and associating with devotees, in the absence of organization, how will all this happen? So Prabhupada said, Iskcon is one of the branch of Chaitanya tree. And that is a very amazing statement. That is not made by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, that's made by Prabhupada. Iskcon is branch of a Chaitanya tree. Prabhupada even said, Krishna has taken birth in the womb of Iskcon. That is another amazing statement. And Prabhupada said, Iskcon is my body. So Prabhupada has made a system of check and balances, so those has to be taken care. But definitely Iskcon is a boat which can help us to cross the material ocean. Otherwise, we will drown. So if you are in the ocean, direct waters, the waves will make you up and down. If you are in the boat, the waves will make the boat also up and down, and in the boat you will also be up and down. So the up and down will be there whether you are in the boat or outside the boat. Same experience. But the difference is when you are outside the boat you are drowning, when you are on the boat you are sailing. So if you are in Iskcon, you will sail even though ups and downs are there of the organization. But if you are not in Iskcon, you will drown. So this organization works best. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The philosophy is Ved Abed. To understand theory, practical examples can be given. Can this be taken as an example that on some days Prabhupada Swami requires a microphone to deliver a lecture as an example of group illusion?
Sorry, come back.
Group illusion was discussed in the session. Can this example be taken as an example of group illusion that on some days Prabhupada Swami requires a microphone for delivering a lecture?
Is that group illusion you are asking? How? Wait. He can explain himself. If he appoints you a lawyer, you are okay.
No, sir. I am in a doubt.
No, how is that group illusion?
I am asking, is it an example of a group
Okay,
illusion?
in our temple, Prabhupada is given mic generally on Wednesdays because Wednesday Prabhupada gives the class. I don't see it as a group illusion. Okay. Any more questions? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Gokuleshwar Prabhuji.